Hi guys! So the month of December is upon us and I wanted to show you my current planner lineup. I'll start with my core planners and then move on to the more specific or less commonly used ones. So first up is my personal planner, which is also my wallet. This is my Hobonichi Weeks and I just did a setup of this because I started it this week. So I won't go into detail, but I'll just quickly show you what it looks like at the moment. So it's got my cards here and it's this beautiful Daydream cover, which I'm completely in love with. And then I have this happy dashboard here. And this doesn't start until January, so I can't use it, but I will be using it for tracking. So in the meantime, I'm using this for tracking and then also for my bank balance and tracking expenses. And then the weekly section is appointments and to-dos, and then I've got some collections or lists here in the back, and I'll just show you the index here. So, and then I've got a bit of decoration here at the back and this bookmark, which I'm kind of sort of on and off using to mark the weekly page. And then I got more wallet stuff in here. And I'm using my trusty Pilot Decimo with this. So that's my personal planner. Then next up I have my work planner, which is a Hobonichi Cousin. And I've got this in a brown faux leather Hobonichi style cover that I got from Love by Gabby on Etsy. So I'll link that down below. I've got these in a few different colors and I love them. So again, I'll just kind of give you a brief look at this because I go into this in more detail in other videos. So this is what my weekly spread looks like, and I use this for all of my appointments and to-dos, and then I use the daily pages for a combination of work-related notes and daily to-dos if I have a particularly busy day, usually when I'm at the university. So this is my loyal, trusty work planner. I could not be without this. This is like absolutely essential. And these two really make up the core of my planning system. If I had to, I could really manage just with the two of these. But of course, I don't want to do that because I'm a planner addict. So I also have this Hobonichi A6 daily planner, and I've had this for quite a while. I've been using this since July. So most of you probably seen it already. So this is really simple. I just use this as a daily to-do list because, as most of you already know, I like to pull things from both of these planners on the day and just put them into one big chronological list, mixing work and to-dos, just work and personal, just so that I can see everything I have to do in the day. I started decorating it, which I really, really like. But it is essentially just very functional. So the decoration doesn't really have anything to do with what's going on. So I've just put these full box stickers and, you know, sometimes like these like, let's do this or today's plan, but then I just write a list of the to-dos. I've decorated this quite far in advance because decorating planners makes me really happy. So I've put on some days I have these to-do checklists, which I don't actually think work that well for this planner because I like to take advantage of the small grid boxes, and with the to-do checklist you have to like kind of, you don't have to write bigger, but you can't use every line because the to-do checklists are sort of designed for bigger writing. So I think I'm not going to use those anymore in 2017 when my new planner starts. But I'm really, really happy with having a daily planner, and I think that the A6 Hobonichi works perfectly for that. Here I have my Pilot Metropolitan purple in fine nib, and I'm using this with a new ink which I just put in. So I'll do a video on my fountain pens when I will go into more detail about that. So that's my daily planner. And so really, I guess these three are my extended core, all three Hobonichis, the Cousin, the Weeks, and the A6. And so together, these are like kind of my essential planners. Like I said, I could do without this one, but I think the three of these together just function really well as my like kind of tripartite perfect planning system that I absolutely love. But then I've got another two which also like kind of form part of the extended core, I guess, if we can talk about that. So this is a new edition. I'm really excited about this. This is my other Hobonichi week. So most of you know that I ended up with 2 weeks and I wasn't sure which one to use as my personal planner and what to do with the other one. And so I finally decided to go with the Daydream as my personal planner. And then after quite a lot of agonizing, and I talked about this in another recent video, I, at the last minute, changed my mind and decided to use this as my gratitude journal / vision book. And the reason for that was I was using 2 other planners. Basically, for the last couple of months, I've been using this as my gratitude journal and this is my vision book. And I felt like it wasn't really working for me. It was getting a little bit unwieldy because I had these, this is pretty big. This is A5 size. And then I had this one. And so I had to write first in one and then in the other. And I felt like it was a little bit unwieldy. And I also, if you know me, you probably know that I really like bound planners and I really like the idea of having the whole year together in one place. And also for me, I'd say since I've been keeping a gratitude journal, which is probably the last maybe 6 years or something, I've been using gratitude journal combined with a vision book. And so the two really go together in my head. And when I separated them, I sort of missed having them both together. So I decided to stop using these because I just felt like I wasn't really enjoying it. And instead switched over to this, and I absolutely love this. So I'll just show you quickly how I have this set up. So this is in my Cork travel wallet, which is an amazing faux leather wallet that's made out of cork. It's really awesome. And I am using the Hobonichi pen, which was something of a dilemma because, you know, you can relate, fellow planner addicts, like the commitment of using a bound book makes you feel like you really have to get it right at first, because if you're kind of obsessive like me, you don't like the idea of switching pens or switching ink colors or switching planner purposes in the middle of the year. So I really felt like I wanted to get it right at the beginning. So I've decided, I know that the Hobonichi pen obviously, you know, works really well with the paper, although lots of other pens do as well. But I just decided to go with this, and it's working really well. So I just clip it onto here. And so in here I've put this, I've had this for a few years and it's migrated from planner to planner. This is an idea that I got from one of the secret books. I think it's maybe the book that she has called, it's like 30 Days of Gratitude or something like that. And it gives you like a little kind of task every day. And one of them was, so to take a note, it's designed as a dollar bill, but you know, in the UK, the lowest paper money denomination we have is £5. So I took a £5 note and wrote on it on a sticky note, "Thank you for all the money I've been given throughout my life." And you're supposed to look at that, and that kind of like sort of trains you for abundance. So I put that in here. And then I'm not using this for anything. And here in the month on 2 pages, at the beginning of the day, I write down the thing that I'm most looking forward to that day. And then at the end of the day, I go back and write the thing that I most enjoyed. So like the highlight of the day. And I was quite happy with this because before, you may have heard me talk about when I was using my A6 Hobonichi as a gratitude journal, I would write the thing that I was most looking forward to in the morning. And then I'd come back and like tick it off if I'd done it. And often I would get depressed because I hadn't done it. So I felt like that was kind of counterproductive. So now I think I've solved that problem because I go back and whether or not I've done it, I'll write down the best thing that happened that day, and that kind of like means that it doesn't matter if I didn't do the thing that I was planning to do at the beginning of the day, because I've still got something nice to reflect on. So that's the month on 2 pages. And then in the weekly spread, this is just perfect for gratitude and vision, because on the left I write down things that I'm grateful for or happy about, and on the right I write down things that I want to happen, and then they're just side by side. It's a really nice amount of space because you can fit in like maybe 5 or 6 things, which I think is a good amount. It's not too much. It doesn't make you feel overwhelmed. It's not like you have to fill a whole page, but it's enough that you can get in, you know, it's like kind of a few different things, and then write in things that you want to happen. And then with all of the notes pages in the back, I'm using this as a kind of running vision book. So I'll list all of the things that I want to happen, because I like get really stressed thinking about things that will go wrong and like worrying. And so the best way to kind of counteract that is to just, for me, it seems to be just to write it down. And then I kind of tell myself that's taken care of. Don't worry about it anymore. So if I'm nervous about like an upcoming presentation or something else at work or just, you know, anything in life, I just write it down here. And then it's like, that's taken care of. I also write a lot of the same things down here on the daily pages. But I kind of feel like having it in the back is like a safeguard from this is all just for kind of my own sort of like, you know, mental well-being. If I say to myself, say I forgot to write something down that I'm, you know, worried about or that I want to happen one day, if I tell myself, well, it doesn't matter because I've already got it written down here, then it's like I can tell my brain like, don't worry about it, it's okay. Anyway, so that's my gratitude book. So this is completely plain. I'm not decorating it. I've just wanted this to be totally functional and easy because I just want this to be something that I can go and get and write in, and I want it to be really easy and kind of, you know, no need for much thought. Then my last planner in the kind of core section is my home planner. And you've seen this before. This is a Discagenda Manta cover, and it's the Jewish calendar. And this is where all of our joint appointments go, and my schedule, James's schedule, if one of us is away, or if there's something like flea medicine for the boys, our dogs, anything that affects both of us, I put it in here. And I also decorate this one. So this is the first of these planners that I've shown you so far that I decorate. And, oh, no, sorry. This one I decorate as well. But this one is a little bit more functional, I guess, in that I put everything on stickers. But it's quite sort of basic decorating in that I just put appointments and things on stickers, and then at the end of the week, I come in and fill in the rest of it with purely decorative stickers so that it looks all nice and happy and colorful. I also keep things like receipts from shopping. So we get a delivery of vegetables every week, and I keep the receipt in here in case after we unpack it we realize that there's something missing, because sometimes they make a mistake with you know, something that we've ordered, like we order 8 avocados and they only bring 4 or something like that. So if I keep this in here for a couple of days, then if there's anything that we think is not right, then I can check the receipt and see that, because they leave this off with the order, then I can check it and see whether it's right or not, and, you know, phone them to get a refund if it's not. So I keep that in here because it's A5 and it just is the most convenient place to keep it. And this stays out on our desk or on our table. So that is the home planner. And so really this is a kind of my planning system right here, I would say. But then I have a couple of other additions which are sort of more specific, or like a, you know, kind of a little bit more niche. And the first one is my Discagenda Diva, which I've had since February, since it came out. And I've used it for a variety of different things over the year. So it's been a menu planner, it's been for a little while a gratitude book, for a while I was using it as a home planner. And since I think sometime in September, I started using it just as a very, very simple one function item, which is to track Tails' eye medicine. So Tails, our dog, has like kind of a slight eye condition where he needs eye drops twice a day. And this is perfect for that because it has the 3 boxes, morning, afternoon, evening. So we just keep it in the bedroom by the eye drops and like give it to him in the morning and then give it to him in the evening and tick when we've done it so that we know. And it's the eye drops are not, it's like not the sort of thing where it's sort of really crucial that he has exactly 2, so he can have more. So, you know, like if we gave it to him 3 times a day, that would be all right as well. But it's mainly just to make sure that we've given it to him the minimum amount of times. And so it kind of feels a bit decadent just having a whole plan just for that, but it's so convenient because, you know, it's right there next to the eye drops, and that just like kind of takes care of the issue. And then if we don't have to worry, like if I've given them to him, you know, telling James like, oh, I've given them to him, or the other way around, it's just like we can just look at this and we know. And because I wasn't using this planner, it was going to waste, so it doesn't really feel like you know, like I'm underusing it because I wasn't using it anyway. So it works really well for that. So that is the Tails eyedrop planner. I think I'm getting to the point where the planner stack might be in danger of falling over. Then this one is the one that I just showed you before that I was using as my vision book for a while. So this is another one that's had a few different incarnations since I started using it. So at the beginning of the, well, this is an academic planner, so it started in July 2016, but I didn't get it until September. And so you can see the first week that I got it, the plan was to use it as a meal planner. And as you know, I have a very checkered history with meal planners. I can never get it to stick. So this is the sad evidence. Started on a Friday, did quite well until Tuesday, and then that was it. No more meal planning. And then relatively soon after that, I decided to repurpose it and use it as a vision planner, a vision book. And I used it like that for quite a while until, so from like kind of September until last week. And as I explained, I decided to switch over into the weeks, and that's just working much better for me because it's so portable and it's all in one place, and I really, really like that. But then I love this planner so much that I didn't want it to just be unused, and so I decided to have a go at doing expense tracking again, which is something that I was doing earlier in the year and then I stopped. But I kind of think that sometimes it can be useful to do something just for a while to give yourself a bit of a boost. I might talk about this in a bit more detail in another video. So I'm not necessarily sure that I will want to do expense tracking forever, because sometimes it can be a bit of a pain. Like, you know, if you feel like you have too much stuff is going on and you're too busy, maybe you don't necessarily want to do it. But I think it can be really good if you're feeling kind of like frustrated with finances, or like you're not saving enough money, or like you don't know where all the money goes, which is like, hello, that's me all the time. And so I just decided that it would be good to monitor expenses so that I can see clearly, like, okay, like what is the money going on? Planner supplies, yeah. So I've decided to put it in here because, like I mentioned, I find it really disturbing when I start using a bound planner for one thing and then switch over to another purpose. And this planner has already had 3 different purposes, if you count the newest one, the expense tracking. So that makes me a little bit uncomfortable. But on the other hand, I think it sort of tells the story of how my year has been going, I guess. So I should really try to embrace the chaos. And I'm using this with my Kaweco student fountain pen, which I love. So yeah, I think I'll use it like this for now, because the planner is available, it's there, and I love it. So I thought I might as well experiment and use it for that. And again, I'm not decorating this or, you know, doing anything really fancy with it. I'm just literally writing down my expenses. So that's that. And then I think that this is nice because, first of all, because you have lines, so that makes it easy. And then you also have this space for notes at the bottom where I can write down the totals, and I think divided into like food, you know, kind of other essentials and non-essentials. So that is my finance tracker at the moment. I keep my bank balance in my personal planner, and I've also been writing non-essential expenses in my personal planner as well. I think my personal planner, although I technically could use it for all of my expenses, I have done that before. I did it in One Book July and it was okay. It's a little bit crowded, and since I've got all these extra planners, I thought, and I like using them, I thought I might as well just use another one for the complete expense tracking. Okay, so then this one is a very new addition because, like I said, I was using this up until last week as my gratitude journal, and I liked it as a gratitude journal because it's got these 3 sections that are not labeled. So I was using this for home, work, and personal, and I was dividing my, you know, kind of comments into those 3 categories, and I did really like it for that. But like I said, I just feel much happier using the Hobonichi Weeks for gratitude and vision. And so this was like kind of free, and I wasn't sure what I was going to do with it. And at the same time, I decided that it would be useful to have a food tracker for Mochi, our other dog, because he is extremely picky, and he also just like has this terrible penchant for only eating junk food, which is really frustrating. He was a street dog, and it seems probably like because he was used to eating scraps, like he likes things like crisps and hot dogs and chips and, you know, like anything that, like, I guess people would have thrown like leftovers on the street, like that's what he wants. So it's been kind of a challenge getting him to eat healthy food, and he'll sometimes go on strike if he doesn't like something. And so I decided that, like with the finances, I feel like any area of your life that you're finding like kind of difficult to deal with, I feel like setting up a planner for it, even if it's temporary, can be really useful, because it's like a way of focusing sort of positively on that thing. So I just decided to set up a food tracker for Mochi. And this, again, it's good because it's got the 3 slots, so you can have morning, afternoon, evening, and just to like track what we give him and like what he eats, and hopefully kind of turn it into a sort of positive thing and help get him to like stop being a junk food dog. So that is the Mochi food tracker. And then the last planner this is not really a planner by any stretch of the imagination, but I just wanted to include it because it's a notebook that I use, and this is a Paperblanks, and it has this really beautiful cover. And I use this just as a quote book, and I've shown this before, but I haven't shown it to you for a while. So I just write down, every time I see a positive quote, I just write it down, and that's how much I've got so far. So it has, like, some of these come from the Mambi planners that I've seen. Some of them come from like when I watch a plan with me video or something and I see a nice quote. Sometimes I Google positivity quotes and like write them down in here. And so I use this sometimes if I'm feeling a bit down. It can be nice just to write down a nice happy quote. And so I'm just sort of going to use this until it fills up, which is obviously tons and tons of space. So and then I'd like this to be a resource that if ever I'm feeling a bit sad, I can just go to it and read the happy quotes and feel cheered up. So that is my quote book. So that is my planner lineup as of the beginning of December 2016. I haven't included in this my ring binders, which I use for reference materials, and you've seen those before. So those are all the same. So I have my, home binder where I keep stuff like warranties and, you know, like kind of stuff to do with our flat, like when we've had repairs done and that kind of thing. And the one for our dogs with like vaccination records and stuff like that. But those are purely reference. Like I don't usually write in them. So this is where all of the writing happens. So yeah, I know it's a lot. But like I said, if you break it down, the only kind of actual like strict planners that I have, it's really, these two are the only ones where unique information goes into. I feel like I have to say this every time because it's like, whoa, so many planners, it's crazy. So I just sort of want to like highlight that it's not like I actually have all of these different planners. Like these are really my only planners that information goes into. This one is just a different format for the same information, and then the rest of these are all for sort of, you know, specific things. So I hope you enjoyed this. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll be back again soon.